Hi, my name is Portio Dlamini. I am the Managing Director of Emakheni Group, the company that I started more than 10 years ago. I grew up in one of the small villages called Stockholton. It is located at Mpende, just 100 kilometers from Pietermaritzburg. I'm the first of 3 children and we were raised by a single mother. I grew up mainly with my grandparents. We stayed in a farm that was owned by them. And at that time, my mother was working as a teacher and she was also studying. So I had a pleasant childhood, although I had a lot of challenges as a young kid without a father. But other than that, I would say it was pleasant. So I spent most of my primary schooling there at Stockholton until I went to boarding school at the age of 13, where I did my high schooling, which is Polela High School. And that's where I completed my matric before embarking on a journey of studying chemical engineering at Nkosithandile University of Technology, and I did my BTech at the KZN University of Technology. I had a casual time where I worked in a bakery, but my formal job was when I worked at Sapi Mandini. This is a pulp and paper company. This is where I served my internship. So while I was at varsity, I received a bursary from SAPI. So as part of the terms and conditions, as part of the terms and conditions of that bursary, one had to work as an intern. So I did my internship there as a process technician for about 12 months before moving to Sasol to work also as a process technician. The name of my business is Emakheni Group, which is trading as Emakheni Cleaning and Industrial Solutions. This is the first division of the business, and the plan is to have some subsidiaries in the future as part of this business. I'm working as a managing director. Basically, I am responsible for the overall running of the business. That includes implementation of strategy. It also includes making sure that the different departments are set up and they are running efficiently. And I also make sure that there is a strong strategic relationship with different stakeholders that can be able to help us to grow this business from strength to strength. When I started this business more than 10 years ago, prior to that, I was working in the manufacturing industry for about 10 years. That's where I got exposed to different departments and including the operations. And during that time, I had a lot of issues as a young graduate, personal issues in terms of low self-esteem, identity crisis, poor self-image, mainly because of the way I grew up, growing up without a father. So those limitations, basically personal limitations, hindered me from accelerating my career as a young graduate. But once I sought counseling, and once I overcame them, I began to make a decision that instead of going up the corporate ladder, I would rather transfer those skills and the things that I've overcome to someone else who is marginalized. And at that time, I was exposed to cleaning contractors, and I was working with them. I saw how they struggled with a lot of issues that I had struggled with, and also how that impacted service delivery when delivering to us as clients. So I made a decision that instead of going up the corporate ladder, I'd rather start a business which will not only provide value for our clients, but which will also empower cleaners and general workers beyond the cleaning industry so that they do not spend the rest of their lives as cleaners. I was clear that I was not starting a training company, but it was about starting a business that would be profitable and sustainable while providing value for our customers. But the foundation of that business is an empowerment model that focuses on the social side of our employees. So I did that informally while I was at the corporate level, but now in the business, that's where one has started implementing that. And we've seen many lives, especially in terms of our general workers, empowered. For example, we've helped them to dream more and to look beyond just being a cleaner. to help them understand that there's something more than just cleaning, which is an entry-level position in any organization. But I help them to understand that they can dream again, they can study further, or they can start a business, they can do something to better or to empower themselves. And by doing that, we have seen them being empowered such that their self-esteem is uplifted, and it results to high moral and high service delivery for our customers. So that definitely has been a value for that in the business. So while building the business, my responsibility, especially as the managing director, is to make sure that that vision of empowerment is alive, and make sure that even though we plan to diversify, that remains alive within our organization, because it does have an impact not only on our employees, but also on our customers. I think being able to transition from the corporate world to business, the fact that I have been able to step over from being an employee to becoming an employer, that is one serious accomplishment for me. And for being able to start and run this business for the past 10 years, it's a major accomplishment. Previously, my accomplishments were based on the academic side, but now that I'm on this other side, I have realized how difficult it is to start and run a business. Therefore, the fact that we have been trading for the past 10 years with the support of so many people really is an accomplishment for me as the business leader and as an entrepreneur. One of the best advices that I've received thus far, especially in business, was from one of my life coaches and mentors. And what he said to me was, success is 80% preparation and 20% opportunity. So when there are no opportunities, you have to continue to prepare yourself. So I have embarked on that both in my personal and business life. I make sure that personally I become a better version of Portio. And in business, when there were no opportunities, especially in the first 3 to 4 years of our business, I continued to build the business, to increase our capacity, to implement systems, to sort help where we needed help, to strengthen our customer base, such that when to strengthen our systems, such that when the opportunities came, we were now ready to trade. We were competent, we were compliant, we were excellent, and therefore when the doors were opened, we were able to step in just because we applied that principle. The biggest challenge that I've faced as an entrepreneur and as a business leader was stepping out from the corporate world into business full-time without being fully prepared. I'm fully aware that one can never be fully prepared, but I strongly feel that I was underprepared, and I would advise other people differently from how I did or from how I started this business. So at that time, I did not have any understanding on how to run a business. I didn't have a clear understanding of our customer base, of our competitors. I did not know whether this business would make it in the market that we wanted to penetrate. I also was not aware of the different functions of the business, that it takes a lot for one to be able to run a business. I only had an idea of successful entrepreneurs, but I didn't know the behind the scenes. So it was only when I stepped into business full time that I realized that I needed to build capacity, learn, upskill myself so that I can be able to lead, or to able to start and lead this business. So I would say that was the biggest obstacle and challenge that I've had to overcome. And I overcame it through the support of many enterprise and supplier development programs that helped me, and also through the mentors and coaches that I've had throughout this journey. Firstly, I have a strong belief that for one to be able to lead, you have to be led, or you should have been led by someone else. So I have been fortunate that I've had strong leaders and strong mentors leading me as a person and as an individual. So I learned from them. I learned how they have been successful in leading different teams or different organizations. So through the principles that I've learned in terms of how they apply it in their own organizations and how they mentored me, I have learned to apply some of those principles in this in this organization. So as a business leader, I'm strong in communication and transparency. So I strongly believe that one has to be able to communicate or narrate the vision clearly to all the employees so that they understand where they fit and how to work with us as a business, how to fit in our culture and all of that. So that is embedded also in our recruitment strategy. So once a person is part of Emakheni, we also make sure that on a weekly basis, we are able to help each and every individual understand their roles in the business and also how to contribute significantly so that they themselves are growing while the business is growing. So that is basically a symbiotic relationship. There is a symbiotic relationship between an employee and an employer. Over and above that, especially when there are challenges, I've made sure even before the challenges that our culture is a culture that is very optimistic and that is full of positivity. So such that when there are stressful times, we are able to rely on one another. We are able to see a bigger picture despite the challenges. So that has helped us a lot. I encourage them a lot on a weekly basis through our meetings, through personal engagements. Everyone is involved. They understand where we are going. And it's a very transparent type of a culture where everyone is accepted and we are there to embrace one another as we grow together in this business. I'm inspired by a lot of things. Just to mention, I think I'll focus on two in terms of my mentors and coaches and in terms of life in general. The people that have inspired me, especially in the last 10 years, I've had very great mentors and coaches that have helped me in this journey. If I can mention a few, the first one to mention is the late Dr. Basil Traun, who was my spiritual mentor and life coach. He helped me a lot in terms of helping me to discover who I am as a person and my purpose in life. He helped me to overcome a lot of limitations that were hindering me from moving forward in life. So really, I'll forever be grateful for that. So he was highly instrumental, especially in the beginning stages of my business, in helping me to break through so that we could be able to trade as a business. And another one who is an entrepreneur and a business leader is David White. I met him in one of the ESD programs, which is the Segela program that is spearheaded by the SA Home Loans Foundation. And also he is part of the Business Fit, which is the ESD program that he runs together with Akon. So through him, I learned a lot about what entrepreneurship is and the different types of mindsets that I have to have as an entrepreneur as I move from startup to scaling to corporate level in terms of my business. And also I have been inspired by his approach when it comes to not just running a profitable business, but he is passionate about empowering entrepreneurs. So that really has helped me as a business person as well. And then in a nutshell, and also to add to that, I've met also different coaches from different ESD programs, including the Race Corp ESD program, the Segela, and the Business Fit. Most of the coaches, they also inspired me a lot in terms of their attitude towards life and how they tackle different problems on a day-to-day basis. But overall, in general, I am inspired by a transformed life. When I see somebody who was down and out and they have made a difference in their lives by upskilling themselves or by making sure that they do not stay where they are, but they are able to move up in life despite the challenging circumstances. As a business, the plan is to grow to regional and national level. So that's what we have been preparing for, so that we are able to penetrate different supply chains, both in the industrial and commercial sectors. So that's where the business is, to go to regional and national level. And that's basically we are in a growing phase, or we are scaling as a business. But when it comes to business in general in KZN, since we have been in business for the past 10 years, I still feel that there's still a lot of red tape when it comes to the supply chains of corporates. There is a lot that a number of companies are doing in terms of business, in terms of BEE and Black Economic Empowerment and ESD programs, in terms of training the entrepreneurs but there is a gap there whereby we are trained a lot. There's a lot of training, but there is a struggle to move into trading whereby we are given opportunities to supply our products and services to the big business, in this case, which is blue chip companies, etc. So I feel that if both the small businesses or growing businesses can work together with the corporate businesses, such that we are able to come together and be moved as one, whereby we get these opportunities, but not just for the sake of getting them, but by making sure that SMMEs are competent, compliant, and excellent, so that they can be able to stay in business for the next 10 to 50 years. By doing that, we'll be able to build a sustainable economy in KZN, and also to create more employment opportunities for this province. So this is where I see KZN in the next 5 years. The motto that I live by was written by one of my mentors and life coaches, the late Dr. Basil Traun, and it says, if you raise the inner status of a man, then that inner status will eventually transform his outward life. I am a living testimony to that. I have seen how when a person focuses on developing themselves, getting better, becoming a better version of themselves, then the outward circumstances begin to line up with a transformed version of that person, and you begin to see success in different areas of that particular person or that particular individual. So yeah, that is the quote that I live by.